Welcome back to another episode of 86. So in the previous one, we had a rough one because it was a return to the front lines, right, for our squad, more specifically for Sheen. And he was doing fine himself, right? He is skilled enough to be doing fine. The problem is everyone around him was kind of like shutting down and dying. So specifically, the biggest one was Eugene, right? Eugene ended up dying there. There was mention of like all of his commanders or all of the people working with Sheen also dying. I don't really know who that is, and we haven't seen our squad, the rest of the squad that was there in the entirety of the previous episode, which makes me a tad bit worried, but also I am certain they're not gonna off-screen them, right? At least if they give them a death, they're gonna make it an emotional one. So I'm sure it's gonna happen at I'm sure they're still alive for now. Surely. Yeah, surely. But yeah, anyways, I have no idea where it's going now. I am missing seeing Lena's perspective, but also one thing that I am interested in, you know what would be kind of interesting, and I was thinking about this entire thing, is it would be kind of interesting if they made the story in a way, or they presented the story in a way where we would just be seeing this side, and then at some point we just randomly run into Lena's side of things, right? So kind of like imagine if we, because it's been over half a year, I think, at this point since we last saw anything from Lena's side. So imagine if we just continue on this story, and then eventually we find Lena and her squad, and something is completely different from when we last saw it, or something along those lines. That would be kind of cool, you know? That would be a cool way to present like information, and for us to be like, what the hell just happened, right? What the hell just happened? I think what happened is my screen actually turned off. I was like, what? Okay, but yeah, I would be... Oh, we're back. Yeah, I would be so interested to see what, like, if that's the direction that this would go in. That would be such a cool way to tell this kind of story. I would be so down for that. I kind of hope it is that. Anyways, let's find out, shall we? So, without further ado, let's go into 86, episode 15. July 30th. Confederacy. Okay, yes, they're all good. Thank God. How is every single Amazarashi song an absolute banger? They just don't miss. I'm gonna be honest, I saw a comment saying that she's voiced by Ueda Kana, and I'm like, fuck, I can't unhear Rin now. I cannot unhear Rin now that she speaks. Now I see it. Now I can definitely see it. Fuck. Let me see. The Regenleif is more mobile than Legion and a match both technically and in terms of firepower. Group tactics are insufficient to deal with a large Legion offensive, a small group of elites will have to fight while outnumbered too. Kids are among the highest in the entire 8th Army Corps. Kills, not kids. Wow. Kills, not just the 177th Division. Sufficient for individual operation of the Reagan Leaf. Manufactured WHM, total length 6.3 meters, height 2.7, not including grappling subarms. Grappling subarms, high frequency blade X2, subarms, 12.7 millimeter machine gun X2, wire anchor gun mount installed on the rear of the fuselage, normally equipped with an 88 millimeter smooth bore gun, can be substituted for a large autocannon, multiple launch rocket pad, anti-armor pile driver X4 installed on the unit's legs, 20 charges each. Okay. 31st. あ。
着替えてから出てこい。キリ、髪をすいてたもん。フレデリカ。シンエ、すまぬ、間違えたのじゃ。アンジュ、悪い。フレデリカちゃん？セオ君、軍服取ってきてあげて。ついたぞ、その。また届いてるそうですよ、プレゼント。エイティシックスはかわいそうでいたいけな子供たちというイメージが一人歩きしているようですね。全部処分で、もう確認を取らなくてもいい。そうしたいんですよね。形式ですよ。軍隊ってのは、所詮不合理で非効率な人間の組織ですんで。というわけで以上、報告を終わります、戦隊長殿。形式ですので、こちらの書類にサインを。食べろ、フレデリカ。あんな姿を見られては、レディーの名が廃るのじゃ。誰がレディーだよ。そもそもね、で徘徊してるのが一番問題だからな。誰に聞いたのじゃないで。みんな久しぶり。そなた、意外と意地が悪いのじゃな。無理についてきて身支度もできなくなるなら、本拠地に戻した方がいいかと、そういう話をしただけだ。マスコットに軍人同様の軍旗は課されない。後方にいてくれた方がこっちも気が楽だ。そういうわけにはいかない。見届けるためにわらわはここに来たのじゃから。それじゃあ明日からは寝ぼけて半裸でうろつかないようにしないとな。半裸？実はさ、言わんでよい。半裸。その話題からいい加減離れぬか。そのたらこうして全員揃うのも久々だと言うのに。そうだよ。クレナちゃん落ち着いて。まあ全員集合ったってほんのつかの間だ。今日はこれから後片付けかな。防御陣地の補修に鉄器や遊軍機の残骸の回収、それに遺体も。機構部隊はだいぶやられたみたいだから。
this guy.
いらないって分かってるのにね。かといって理由も説明できないし。そうよね。まったく。そなたらあちこちからこき使われるのにすっかり慣れてしまったようじゃが。今日は久方ぶりにわら
たちの本拠地に戻るぞ。
177.
おかえりなさい。まずは毎日の救援任務お疲れ様。どうもレギンレイブはあなたたちや外人部隊の方が相性がいいみたいね。どうかしら、少尉。気に入ってもらえて。
評価報告はパラレードのそれと合わせ提出していますが、
ええ、だから聞きたいのは感想よ。かつて共和国で同系統のフェルトレスを買ったあなたたちの。
あなたが作った方のジャガーノートについてでしたら、
レギンレイブよ。
ジャガーノート、
レギンレイブだってば。
ジャガーノート。
もういいわ。それで
共和国のジャガーノートよりは多少上等なアルミの棺桶です。
Yeah.
もしかして分かってなかったの？
だってあれ、機動性だけで安
全性
まるで考えてないし、
プロセッサーの何人かはあれに食い殺された
うん
人もいるよね。
俺たちだからなんとか乗りこなしてるだけだ。
作ったバカの正気を本気で疑いたくなるようなやつより多少上等。使う方もどうかしてるわよ。
あれしかありませんでしたから。
ああ、そう。
Fuck, I can't unhear read now. Shit.
確かにプロセッサーは選びますが、足が速いのはありがたいですし、速度の割に精度が強くて小回りも効きます。
そう。なぜかしらね。褒められてる気がしないわ。実際シンくん褒めてないわよね。それなのに、どうしてオペレーターを引き受けてくれたのかしら。
候補に加えたのは中佐ご自身と聞いていますが、
あくまでテスト要員としてよ。あなたたちのような少年兵が前線に出るのは、私は本当は反対なの。ましてあなたたち、エイティシックスは特に、ね。私もバナルガンドに乗っていたの。10年前、レギオンとの戦争が始まった時、今のあなたと同じ年だった。仲間はたくさん死んだわ。ノロマのバナルガンドのせいで。もっと足の速いフェルドレスがあればって何度も思ったわ。レギンレイブを作らせたのもそのため。忌憚のない意見をありがとう、少尉。あなたたちも。次の回収ではもうちょっとマシな意見を言わせてみせるから期待していて。さて、通達の前に一ついい知らせがあるわ。ロアグレキア連合王国バルト盟約同盟の生存が先日ついに確認されたわ。通達の前に一ついい知らせがあるわ。ロアグレキア連合王国バルト盟約
Rua Gracia? United Kingdom, UK of Rua Gracia. And the Alliance of Wald. Alliance of Wald.
同盟の生存が先日ついに確認されたわ。捉えた無線通信によれば、彼らもどうにか防衛線を構築して時間学校で習ったじゃない。そうだっけ。ただ、それ以外の周辺国や西のサンマグノリア共和国についてはまだ無線も捕まらないみたいだけれど。
中佐、じゃあ通達は良くない話ですかね。
残念ながらね。
Wait.
近いけれど。それ以外の周辺国や西のサンマグノリア共和国についてはまだ無線も捕まらないみたいだけれど。
So I'm guessing the reason why they're unable to intercept any signals from San Magnolia is because they're using Parade, which are supposed to be signals that you can't intercept, right? Because it's not like phone signals or anything like that. It's kind of like a mind signal, whatever. So I'm guessing that's why they can't intercept those. That makes perfect sense. I wonder what other ones there are. So okay, they said Roa Gracia and Alliance of Wald. So they are the north and the south nation of from Giat, right? So we have Giat, we have either probably Roa Gracia and Wald, let's say, and then we have to the west, or for you guys, I think it's flipped. It would be here. Actually, no, it's here. Either way, to the west, it would be San Magnolia, and then there's probably something to the east, maybe, or maybe it's just the sea or something. I don't know. Okay, good to know. So now they know of 3 countries that are alive apart from, or that have survived apart from Giat. So we know of 4 countries that have survived. I didn't actually realize that the Legion attack was spread out to more countries than just Giat, because the way that Sam Magnolia talk about it, maybe it's propagation, or maybe it's propaganda from Sam Magnolia, but they're saying that Legion got over, like, that the Legion attacked Giat, and that's it. That's the only thing they said. They were like, oh, Giat, or the Legion kind of revolted against its own makers and took them over. I didn't know that the Legion was actually even launched an attack on any other nation apart from Giat. But the way that Giat are talking about it is as if the Legion are taking, like, also launch an attack on everyone else, and they would try to take over the world. So it seems like those are two very conflicting pieces of information. I am more inclined, actually, if it is propaganda, then maybe I'm not. I would say I'm more inclined to believe Sam Magnolia purely because I think Sam Magnolia has way more information than Giat. And it could just be that Giat doesn't know about everything that's happening in the outside world, whereas I feel like Sam Magnolia does. But it could easily be that Sam Magnolia is lying about it. I don't know. Which one is correct? Those are 2 very different scenarios. I wonder which one is correct. Did the Legion try to take over the world when they attacked Giat? Did they want to take over the other nations as well? Or was it purely Giat that was there, that was on their radar at that time? I don't know.
ジューサー、じゃあ通達は良くない話ですかね。
残念ながらね。近いうちに大規模なレギオンの構成があると予測が出たわ。これを受け、西方方面軍は戦力増強と再編成を行います。我々1028試験部隊も正規の機構
177. Okay, so this is all the Western Army. Okay. That's us. So we are to the west. So we are facing the side where San Magnolia would come from. Or I guess the Legion would come from as well. Okay, the Legion is between... Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Okay, yeah.
第177機構師団霊下となり、私が直接指揮を執ります。我がレギンレイブとノルトリヒト戦隊のここからが本領発揮よ。何か質問は？
構成の規模は？
現行勢力で十分に迎撃できる程度と予測されているわ。そういえば、あなたからも上心が上がっていたわね、ノーゼン少尉。興味深く読ませてもらったけど、やはり少尉の予測した敵の数は相当無形だわ。統合分析室の予測を大幅に超えている。
Oh, that's not good.
心配しなくても大丈夫。
Oh
連
no.
邦は共和国とは違う。情報収集も分析も従前にしているし、なすべき備えもきちんとしている。何より、連邦は決して共に戦う仲間を見捨てるような真似はしないわ。
I don't know. Something about the Confederacy also gives me the ick, you know? I don't think either of the nations is, like, great, flawless. I don't know why. Confederacy hasn't done anything that I was like, that would make me feel that way, but it's just something about it. It rubs me the wrong way.
どうした？
いい加減、その足音を立てずに歩く癖を改めぬか。殺風景じゃのう。写真なり絵なりの一枚も貼るがよいぞ。寒々しい。
寝るだけの場所だろう。物が増えると片付けるのが面倒だ。
眠るだけではないわ、たわけ。そなたがいる場所で帰る場所じゃ。そこからのままにしておくのは良いことではないわ。共和国ではそれでも良かったのかもしれんがの。友人の部屋は写真だらけであったぞ。
片付けを。
どこも人手が足りぬでの。少し遺品の整理を手伝ったのじゃ。妹君の写真ばかりであった。
友人と話さなければよかったな。そうすれば死ぬところなど見えなくて済んだ。
わらわはそうは思わん。たとえいずれ死別するにしても、会わぬより会うた方が良い。覚えておいてやれるからな。
Your fingers are on it.
がないなら、誰かの死になんて関わらない方がいい。
そなたがそれを言うか。お人よしの死神め。
何しに来たんだ？
いや、そのじゃな。実は、朝はすまなんだの。その、キリ。
ああ、そんなに似てるのか？
まあ、うり二つとまではいかぬが。 背格好はそっくりじゃ。
Let's see
我
this.
が騎士キリアノーゼンはその他と同じノーゼン一族のものじゃ。キリアはノーゼン
It's that family. Oh, okay. He's from that family. Also, they call it a clan. I didn't know families were that like important here. Lineages. Wow, I didn't realize that. So it's like a clan. Okay, obviously we know that the Nozen family is the family that had the ability of, you know, paradidding and stuff. Wow.
この直系ではなかったか
He
ら、
wasn't
そ
really
の他と血は近く
okay
はないが、
related.
年はそなたより4つ上で、最後に見たときは今のそなたと
4
同じ
years
年だ
older.
った。大人ばかりの要塞の中で、キリアだけが遊び相手だった。髪をすいて、庭の花を取ってきて、どんなわがままも嫌な顔一つせず付き合ってくれた。あやつと来たらまた、とかく生真面目で融通の利かぬたちでの。もしそなたと出会っていたら、さぞ不仲であったろうな。ほれ、
どっちだ？
こっちだ。やれ人と話をするときは書物から目を上げろ。やれ規律と軍令はきちんと守れと、やいのやいの言うて。そなたはどうせ全部無視するのじゃろうから、それにまた怒って。目に浮かぶようじゃ。
どうしてレギオンに？
Him with the red eyes is what we saw.
我がギアーデ帝国はレギオンを用いて周辺諸国に戦争を仕掛けた。しかしその直後、市民たちの放棄により、我々王室は辺境の要塞へと追われた。レギオンが我がギアーデ帝国は
See, so because he wasn't a direct descendant, he didn't have red eyes. That's why. Says Frederick. Huh. Let me just keep watching. The Empire of Giat used the Legion to attack our neighbors.
レギオンを用いて周辺諸国に
Yes.
戦争を仕掛けた。
4 years
しか
ago.
しその直後、市民たちの放棄により、我々王室は辺境の要塞へと追われた。レギオンが兵士の代わりにわらわたちを守ってくれるはずじゃったのじゃが、
They turned on you.
そこは皮肉なものというか、まあ詳しい理屈を
Okay, so that's when everything
レ
happened.
ギオンは
Yes.
人間と共闘するようにはできておらぬらしい。よって要塞の防衛には人間の兵を使わざるを得なんだ。そしてキリアもわらわを守るため戦わざるを得なくなった。放棄した民どもとな。
今の連邦軍だな。
そうじゃ。連邦軍の兵士たちを殺し続けたキリアは、そのうちにおかしくなっていった。やがて家族も知り合いも失い、生まれ育った故郷は今や敵地。共に戦うこの衛兵たちも櫛の歯が抜けるように死んでいって、おそらくキリアはなくしすぎたのであろう。そのうちわらわを守ることが全てとなり、連邦の兵士を踏みつぶして、血みどろのフェルドレスを傍らに、わらわに笑いかけることも珍しくなくなった。平然と晴れやかに。わらわはそれが恐ろしかった。やがて要塞は陥落し、わらわたちは連邦軍に捕まった。同じ戦場にエルンストが激励に来ていたのは全く幸運じゃった。おかげでわらわの死の証として吊るし上げられたのは、着ていた皇帝のマントだけで済んだのじゃから。しかし、キリアはそれを見てしまっていた。
Yeah, we saw that.
そしてその時、辺りをレギオンが戦闘に再利用可能なあらゆるものを探して這いずり回っておった。キリアは立ち尽くしたまま逃げなんだ。わらわがキリアをあのような化け物にしてしまった。そして結局、帝国は滅び、多くの人々が死に、レギオンだけが残った。レギオンはじきに攻めてくるとそなた
Okay, we're at 1826. I'm gonna cut here. I'm gonna rewatch the entire conversation here because I feel like there's so much packed into this conversation that I need to take notice of, and I'll be back in a sec. Okay, so if I'm understanding this entire thing correctly here, well, first of all, well, there's a bunch of things here. Holy, what a info job here. So when the Giat, when the Federacy or the Empire of Giat back then, when it fell, so what happened is there was an inside a rebellion because the Giat was going around and attacking neighboring nations, right? So we know that about the war with San Magnolia and stuff like that. We know about that. So they were attacking neighboring nations, and there was a faction of people inside the empire who didn't want that. So they staged a rebellion against the imperial family, right? So they staged a rebellion against it, and those were the people now known as the Federacy, who then ended up becoming the Federacy, and they managed to actually defeat, like overthrow the Empire, right? So it wasn't the Legion that actually defeated the Empire. It seemed like it was an internal rebellion that ended up defeating the Empire, and the Legions. She didn't really necessarily say much about the Legions. She just said that then all that was left at the end were the Legions, right? She also said that the Legions were never meant to fight alongside humans and stuff like that. But yeah, it seemed like it was more of an internal scuffle, an internal massacre of sorts, where the Federacy ended up being just the people who ended up the rebellion that ended up surviving the entire ordeal, and they captured Frederica, and they to the public and declared that Frederica was dead by, showing her mantle, and Kiri saw that, and now Kiri thinks that Frederica is dead. That's why he's also, like, part of why he's so crazy and stuff. Because he saw the mantle and thingish, and assumed that she died there, that they killed her, but she's here in hiding. So it wasn't the Legion. Interesting, it wasn't the Legion that defeated Giad. It was an inside rebellion that ended up defeating the Giad, and then after the fighting was done and the Federacy survived, only the Legion was left, and the Legion kind of became, like, the Legion now are, I guess, neutral. They just attack on sight, or yeah, I guess not neutral. They're just aggressive to everyone, right? So, interesting, I guess. Yeah, interesting. I don't know. I feel like there should be more that I'm getting, but I feel like I'm still missing things, right? I want to know more about what exactly happened to the Legion in that thing. What was the switch that made them go from, oh, we're fighting for Giad, to, oh, we are no longer fighting for Giad, right? What was the switch that made them stop following the commands? Also, she didn't really mention how exactly Kiri became a Legion, right? She just said that he started going crazier and crazier as time went on as he was fighting, but she never really mentioned his head being cut off and being integrated into a Legion. I'm guessing it was when they took her away, and then it was Legion who swarmed them, and then I'm guessing they found, or maybe, yeah, I don't know. I guess so. Interesting, though. Interesting. She didn't explicitly say it, I don't think. But that is a big lore drop. So it was an internal rebellion that kickstarted the fall of Giat, or basically that was responsible for the fall of Giat, and not an actual Legion attack.
忘れておったのだ。人はたやすく死ぬのじゃな。どれほど先を望んでいても。先ほどそなたの言うた通りじゃな。知り合うた者が死ぬのはわらわは嫌じゃ。キリを救うために、そなたやライデンたちが犠牲になるでは割に合わぬ。そなたらには先がある。それを失わせてはならぬ。
先か。
やはり考えておらなんだな。まったく。例えはようないが、そなたは有事を見習うべきじゃの。次の休暇、行きたい場所、いずれ成したいこと、そんなものでよいのじゃ。何がおかしい？
いや、いつか同じようなことを聞かれた気がする。
それで、なんと答えたのじゃ？
考えたこともないと。
なんと味気ない。そなたはここまで寒々しい男じゃ。さぞがっかりしたであろう、その相手も。
さあな。なんだそりゃ。慕われてんな、お兄ちゃん。重ねてるだけだろ。 ああ、九段の騎士にか。けど、お前の方こそそうなんじゃねえのか？随分入れ込んでんじゃねえか。そうかもしれないな。同じだから、昔の俺と。どうだかな。くれな。姫様の回収を頼むね。
Over the shoulder,
おい、
like a sack of potatoes.
上申なんか出してたんだな。伝えるだけは一応伝えておこうと思っただけだ。ここに来た時、釘刺したはずだぞ。お前のその
Yeah.
力については黙って。
100%. 100%.
戦闘中にあの声を聞かれて、それでお前がなんて呼ばれたか忘れたわけじゃねえだろ、死神。連邦の連中は連中自身が思ってるほど聖人君子ってわけじゃねえし、所詮ここでも俺たち86は連邦人と同格じゃねえ。人の脳みそ取り出したがんのは何もレギオンだけじゃねえんだ。お前がモルモットになるのは勝手だが、とばっちりで人質にされるのは俺はごめんだ。バカな真似すんな。悪い。あそこまで伝えてやっただけでも十分だ。信じる信じないは連中次第。ただ、お前、大丈夫か？何が？余計なこと考えてんじゃねえのかって言ってんだよ。エルンストのおっさんが言ったことでも気にしてんのか？
Oh. Oh, wait, it's about to be over. I'm gonna speak later.
フレデリカ
After the end.
考えろと言われたけど、別に考えたことはないな。その必要もなかったから。お前は？ま、なんとかなるだろうとは思うけどな。レギオンとやり合うよりは難しいことじゃねえだろうよ。こんぐらいの時間だったな、いつも。調査は元気でやってんのかね。
What's with the crows? They've been showing those crows a lot in this episode. Okay. Okay. So the thing that I realized I don't know if I realized it or if I'm dumb and I'm either overthinking it or if I missed something, but or maybe I should have known this already. But so when wait, let me actually see the exact line so that I'm not making stuff up here. I told you when we can hit, get the power of yours a secret. I call you. Here we're not treated as equals. It isn't just the Legion that likes to take out people's brains. So yes, of course, it's obvious, right? It was Giat who, I'm guessing, even the original Legions, they were supposed to be like autonomous, like robots or whatever, without any people actually guiding them. Even those used brains as a battery, right? So I'm guessing it was Giat who was actually making them with human brains, right? So I'm guessing that's what happened with Kiri as well, right? It was just his brain in the thingy, eventually, I think. And that's how he became a Legion. And then over time, he became more and more insane. I think. I could be wrong, though. Maybe not, actually. Shoot, I don't know. Okay, we'll see more. I'm sure we'll see more. I don't wanna... I feel like I don't have all of the information presented to me. So it's kind of tough to speculate too much into the entire thing that's happening here. So yeah, it was Giat who was actually obviously using people's brains to make legions in the first place. And yeah, those then went rogue and stuff. We found out in this episode how the thingy happened, how the fall of Giat happened, right, of the Empire. It was actually an internal rebellion that ended up aiding to the fall of Giat. As I said, I don't know what then triggered the Legion to no longer take orders from Giat. Maybe it is just... You think they had the Imperial family? You think that the Imperial family had some kind of power where they could control the brains in the legions? Kind of like similar to Paradise, maybe? Maybe it was the Northern clan that was actually paramount to controlling the legions by maybe talking to them via parade or something along those lines. And once the royal family got overthrown and basically killed out, there was no one left who could control the legions, and that's why the legions started becoming free, basically, because there was no control over them anymore. You think it was something along those lines? Ooh, that could work. Because, yeah, in this episode, we found out that the Nozen family is kind of like a clan with like people who have the power, right? I'm guessing the parade power, right? So I did not know that. I thought that the Nozen family was just like that one family that we saw. So Ray, Sheen, and parents and Fido, and that's it. I thought that, well, Fido isn't really part of the family. He isn't really blood related, right? But yeah, I thought that those were the only ones, but no, we're finding out that there's more. I guess that makes sense why Sheen and Kiri look so similar from the brief second that we saw of Kiri. Okay, yeah, interesting. I'm sure we'll find out more information. This is me speculating on way too little information to have any kind of concrete proof for anything. I'm sure they're gonna explain it more, but this is my current jumbled up. Those are my current jumbled up theories of everything that's happening right now. But I guess we'll see if even a sliver of it is correct or not. But for now, I'm gonna end it here. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.